Hello my dear tea lovers. In the last years, matcha has become really popular in the West, and I've seen people doing weird things with matcha or the utensil. So I thought I scroll through some short videos, reels, however you want to call them, under the matcha or maybe also tea ceremony hashtag. I'm not sure yet. We will have a look what we can find and let you know my thoughts. I will react to it. I have never done a reaction video. I just thought it might be entertaining and maybe also a little bit educational to watch me reacting to weird things people do with matcha. For those who don't know me, my name is Anne and I'm learning Japanese tea ceremony for over 7 years already, and I have the third official license from the Senki Tea School. So yes, I do have the knowledge to judge you. But please take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to take any of my advices or criticisms. Maybe people just don't know and maybe I can tell them. I don't know. We will see what the outcome of this video is. So here's my phone. I don't have TikTok and I'm not sure if there's anything on TikTok with matcha going on. So I will have a look into Instagram.
They're my minions. I don't know their names. I don't want to know their names. They are known as...
This one might be an interesting one because there's so much matcha out there, and especially I feel like in the West there's so much reseller. I don't understand sometimes what the difference of all of these products is. Like, how should someone understand that has nothing to do with matcha and wanting to buy matcha?
Chanel number 2.
Chanel number 3.
So the first two ones, one is a really popular matcha cafe chain here in Japan, and probably their matcha isn't that bad, especially if you're looking for something for matcha latte and stuff like that. I don't know how good it is if you drink it pure. The second one, Maruko Koyamain, really popular brand. A lot of tea ceremony classrooms use this kind of brand. I don't think we do. We use different ones, and I also think my teacher in Germany used different ones. But this brand, really good. All of their matchas, and it just depends like how much experienced you are and how much, what kind of tea you want to drink. If it's like thin tea, thick tea, stuff like that. But in general, all of them, even the low price ones, really good.
Chanel number 5.
I'm Chanel number 1, obvi.
Then, I don't know what this is, where this comes from, but this looks like one of these reseller brands where they label it with some Japanese words, and I don't know, if it already says like matcha green tea, I'm always like, Then say powdered green tea, but don't say matcha green tea, it doesn't make sense. But well, it looks for me like one of those retailer kind of matcha things. The next one, even more, is designed to be fancy. I mean, yes, it's always good to take traditional things into the modern world as well and stuff like that, but I wouldn't know that this is matcha. I mean, the purpose is that it looks good, but is the product good? I don't know.
Today I'm making matcha because I just got a brand new fancy matcha whisk. I feel like breaking in a new matcha whisk is sort of like breaking in a new pair of jeans. It turns out that these matcha whisks start off super stiff and super tight, and the only way to get them to loosen up is by putting them in a hot tub. After I think about it, this is nothing like blue jeans. While I'm on the topic of jeans, can we talk about how uncomfortable they are in almost every fashion? You will never catch me buying a pair of blue jeans unless it says stretchy somewhere on that tag. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but these San Pellegrino waters are delicious, and they're even better if you combine it with a little bit of matcha like this.
This is very good.
It started off good, so before you use the chasu, not even for the first time, but each time before you use it, you should soak it in hot water. In this way it will become soft and it will not break, and it will also make better foam and everything. So yeah, he does first a really good thing, and then he comes in with the matcha and the sieve and his teaspoon. And I see this happening a lot of times. People are really careless with their teaspoons. You should really be careful with the teaspoons, not touching water and everything. You also give it out to the guests so they can have a proper look at it. This is called hiken, and you usually do this with high valuable utensils. And him like punching the teaspoon on the matcha can is already like, ugh, don't do this. It's like, and his teaspoon doesn't even look so cheap because it's like a dark darker one, and they're usually a bit more pricey, so please don't do it. And then he does the thing I have the feeling some people have when you scratch with nails on a chalkboard. I have this when people use the teaspoon, the shashaku, for thieving. They're running the shashaku through the sieve. And yes, I know it's convenient and everything, but oh my god, this hurts me. This hurts me every time I see it. And I see people doing it a lot of times, so please don't do it. Think of something else, but this hurts me. Also, he uses so few water that it seems really hard for him to kind of whisk the matcha because it's just like such a tiny amount of water. But in the end, he puts it into a fizzy drink. It started off good, but then it went downhill quite fast.
I drink matcha latte every single day like me. I'm about to save you so much money. This video is not sponsored. I went to Kyoto last year and found out about this brand Koyamayan, which is apparently a very popular matcha brand in Japan, but no one's talking about it here. I told the guy in Kyoto that I only make matcha latte, so he was like, oh, you don't need the best one. So he gave me the cheapest one, but like, it is bright green. The quality is so good for the price, and I got this for like $10. You're on their website, to scroll down, click view products under matcha, and then under principal matcha, click view products again. Scroll down, click arashi. I mean, look at the price. I already have the can, so I'm gonna buy 2 bags of 100 grams. I know you do have to pay for shipping, but to get 2 of this giant can of good quality matcha for under $50, you just can't find it in America.
It's so funny how Americans are sometimes so blown by the world. Yes, obviously there will be Japanese brands not marketed for the international market because they have a big market here in Japan and they don't really need it, but still they exist and they ship internationally. Yes, I mean, like, if she's excited and want to tell people about it, yes, please do so. But what I found interesting is, like, we see here that she chooses the cheapest one, and it's actually the one we saw in the other video earlier where she recommended one of the Maruko Yamain matcha, so the other woman. That just gives a little bit more insight on the previous video, because it says, like, if she's recommending the cheapest Maruko Yamain for like one of her best matchas, then I think the other ones will probably not be so good. I have no idea, I've never tried them. That's just what I'm thinking of, like how they're branded and everything. So maybe the lesson is, yes, support Japanese brands. Their products are way better quality usually, and they're not that expensive actually. A quality matcha doesn't need to be overpriced. It's usually the retailer that you're paying. Also, she's using one of these electric tea whisk kind of things. As far as I know, they're actually meant to foam milk and stuff like that. Using them for matcha seems weird to me because I'm learning omotesenke, which doesn't focus so much on the perfect foam. We don't have our matcha as foamy as urasenke usually has, and I think in the West there's like a general obsession with like foamy matcha kind of, or with like a really thick layer of foam. It's not that important. As long as you don't have clumps in your matcha's fine. If it doesn't have the perfect foam, still take a photo, still drink it, still love it, all is fine. Again, someone using the teaspoon in such a hurtful way in my point of view. His tea whisk does have some parts that are broken off. Maybe he doesn't soak it in hot water, I'm not sure, but it could be that because of that his tea whisk is a little bit broken off.
It's matcha time! Hello friends and welcome to my matcha station.
She does one really big mistake kind of thing. She first puts the water into the bowl and then puts matcha into the water. And in this way, the matcha will not dissolve so easily, and it will be a lot harder to get rid of the clumps and everything. And you can also see this later in the video that she has a lot of clumps on the side of her bowl. So always make sure to first put your matcha in the bowl and then evenly distribute a little bit hot water on it. And in this way, it's easier for the matcha to dissolve and the matcha is tastier. And also, if you're still looking for the foam, it will also be easier to whisk a lot of foam.
Cheddar, or in other way we say saddle, is the way to use tea ceremony or making tea process to reflect who you are. And it's kind of like spiritual and Zen practice. Each people can find their own way to enjoy tea ceremony. One can enjoy the nature. One can also enjoy the mindfulness mentality. Everything is in there. It's up to you what you enjoy the most.
That was actually quite cute, and it is true. I don't want to cancel anyone on what they're doing with matcha. It's not about doing every order and every step right. It's more about the intentions, treating different utensils in a not really good way, like I try to explain with the teaspoon, is something that feels wrong for me, even though that I engage you to explore your own kind of tea ceremony and your own kind of mindfulness maybe with it, but still try to respect certain things, maybe try to educate yourself if you're interested into it, respect the culture, but still allow yourself to explore it.
These are my top 3 tips for making the best matcha lattes at home. Number 1, I always start off with high quality matcha powder. I'm currently trying matcha powder from Naruku Koyaman, and it's so good. It's
yes, this brand. As I said, we had it already in a few videos. It is good. And she does have not the cheapest one of the matchas.
And it's sweet and it's really nice and bright. Number 2, I always sip my matcha powder.
And she saves it with a metal spoon, not with one of the wooden teaspoons. Thank you. I like this video already.
Find that it prevents clumps, and when I'm whisking, I also don't add super hot water because I don't want my matcha to become bitter.
It is true, if your water is not 100 degrees Celsius, it's actually a little bit better. But a fun fact I noticed, Japanese like their matcha quite hot, especially if it's for koicha, because koicha gets cold quite easily. So the hotter the better kind of with koicha, but most of these reels are usually about usucha, and for that one, not 100% boiling hot water would be better. Somewhere between 80 and 90 I would recommend. That's a good temperature. Like usually we would warm our tea bowls in the tea ceremony, and if you do that you can actually tell if your water is too hot, because if you put your water into a tea bowl and then you kind of like rinse your tea bowl and your tea bowl gets so hot then you cannot touch it, your water is too hot. It also depends a little bit on how thick the tea bowl is, but if your tea bowl gets hot, so hot that you cannot touch it, maybe consider to use a little bit less hot water, like a little bit cooler water.
Number 3, I find honey to be the perfect sweetener. It's just so good. And if you use all these 3 tips, your matcha lattes are going to come out so good and delicious.
I'm not commenting on the later part because, yeah, matcha latte is nothing traditional. It's like everyone can make it as they like. So yeah, that was kind of interesting for kind of like a first try. Let me know if you like this kind of format, and also if you have specific videos where you want me to react on, maybe send them to me, because I feel like today was a lot of the basics, and I think a lot of people already know about some of these basics I talked about today, but still there's a lot of people still doing these things, so maybe it's still valid to talk about them. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, and also thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and then we will see each other, you will see me in one of my next videos. I will see you, not really, but maybe in the comments. Thank you. Bye.